Ever wanted to step into the shoes of an unstoppable action hero? The kind of guy who walks into a room filled with enemies and walks out without a scratch? Well, today, we're diving into 10 insane action games that make you feel like John Wick himself. Fast, brutal, and utterly stylish. From intense gun-fu combat to precision melee fights, these games will have you dodging bullets and pulling off stunts like an absolute legend. So, lock and load, and let's get started. We're starting off with an absolute classic. Max Payne 3 is the original gun-fu experience, where slow-motion diving through the air while unloading an entire clip into enemies never gets old. The combat is brutal, the gunplay is satisfying, and every gunfight feels like a cinematic masterpiece. If you're looking for high-octane shootouts where you can pull off John Wick-style maneuvers, this is the game for you. Hand-to-hand combat your thing? Sifu is the closest thing to a martial arts movie in video game form. The combat is fast, fluid, and punishingly difficult. But once you master the system, you'll be taking on rooms full of enemies like a true one-man army. Every block, dodge, and counter feels incredibly satisfying, making this game a must-play for anyone who loves brutal, close-quarters combat. Stealth meets brutal efficiency in Splinter Blacklist. While Sam Fisher isn't your typical guns-blazing action hero, he embodies the cold, calculated lethality of a true professional. Whether you're silently taking out enemies one by one or going full assault mode, this game makes you feel like a master spy who always stays one step ahead. The mark and execute mechanic lets you chain together quick takedowns, making you feel like an unstoppable force. Whether you prefer creeping in the shadows or taking enemies head-on, Blacklist lets you craft your own action movie experience. If you love hand-to-hand combat but want a more arcade-style experience, Midnight Fight Express is for you. Think John Wick meets The Raid in a top-down brawler. It's fast, brutal, and packed with non-stop action, letting you chain together insane combos, use environmental takedowns, and beat up waves of enemies in the most stylish ways possible. The game's fluid combat and dynamic fight sequences make it one of the best brawlers out there. Plus, the neon-lit atmosphere and killer soundtrack add to the adrenaline rush. Trepang 2 takes the best parts of Fear and dials them up to 11. It's a high-speed, super-powered shooter where you can slide, cloak, and rip enemies apart with brutal melee takedowns. Imagine John Wick, but with enhanced reflexes and superhuman abilities. It's an adrenaline rush from start to finish. The slow-motion gunfights, explosive combat, and visceral melee attacks make every fight feel like an over-the-top action sequence straight out of an R-rated blockbuster. If you love FPS games with a twist, Trepang 2 is a must-play. Ready or Not is all about tactical precision. This is the game for players who want a more realistic, methodical approach to action. You play as part of an elite SWAT team, making split-second decisions that can mean life or death. The game doesn't reward reckless shooting. It forces you to think like a professional, breaching doors, securing hostages, and neutralizing threats with precision. Every mission feels like stepping into an intense, high-stakes scenario, where skill and strategy are just as important as firepower. If you want action with a dose of realism, Ready or Not is the way to go. You're not just a hitman in this one, you're an undercover cop with the martial arts skills of a legend. Sleeping Dogs delivers some of the best hand-to-hand combat and brutal environmental takedowns in gaming history. Whether you're smashing enemies into fish tanks, throwing them off rooftops, or pulling off insane combos, this game makes you feel like a true action legend. Add in car chases, gunfights, and an engaging crime drama, and you've got an open-world experience that blends John Wick with infernal affairs. What if John Wick had a katana, parkour skills, and the ability to slow down time? Enter Ghostrunner 2. This game is all about lightning-fast reflexes, slicing through enemies in a cyberpunk world while wall-running and dodging bullets like a ninja assassin. The first-person melee combat is incredibly fluid, and the combination of precise movement and deadly swordplay makes every encounter feel like a perfectly choreographed action sequence. If you want a challenge that will test your speed, strategy, and reaction time, Ghostrunner 2 is the game for you. If you want a perfect mix of style and absurdity, my Friend Pedro is your game. Picture John Wick on roller skates, flipping through the air in slow motion while dual-wielding pistols and dodging bullets like a circus performer. This game embraces chaos, letting you pull off insane stunts, ricochet bullets off frying pans, and even use a skateboard as a weapon. It's fast, stylish, and every level feels like an over-the-top action movie scene. If you love games that make you feel like an unstoppable force, my Friend Pedro is a must-play. We couldn't end this list without mentioning Wick Hex, a game that captures the tactical brilliance of the legendary assassin himself. Unlike traditional action games, Hex takes a strategic approach, forcing you to think ahead, plan every move, and execute with precision. Every action costs time, meaning you have to anticipate enemy movements and react like a true professional. It's a different kind of action, but one that perfectly captures the essence of what makes John Wick such a deadly force. And that wraps up our list of 10 action games that'll make you feel like the ultimate one-man army. Whether you love brutal melee combat, high-speed gunfights, or tactical precision, there's something here for everyone. Which of these games have you played, and which ones are on your must-play list? Drop a comment below, and let's talk action. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss more gaming content. Until next time, stay sharp, stay deadly, and keep those headshots coming.